Hello, folks. It's here. Look, finished. Oh, gorgeous. Thanks to everyone who's bought the book, read the book, said lovely things about the book. A huge thank you to all of you. It really means a lot. What you're going to see today, we had a special episode of the Bestseller Experiment where I answered a whole bunch of listener questions, and rather than one big lump of video, I'm going to do them in little chunks over time, in more digestible chunks. So the first of these, people asked me where I got the idea from and how it developed, and this has been in development for some time. Be warned, this video contains gratuitous bell ringing.
But let's dive in, because there's a lot of things people want to know about this book. The first question is from Jan Karen. Jan asks, where did you get your idea from?
Classic. And just to reassure listeners to this, I'm going to try and make the answers as helpful for writers as possible. It's not just going to be me blowing smoke up my own bum for an hour. I mean, maybe for just 45 minutes. So, hopefully we'll get some insight into working with agents, editors, development ideas, writing for series, historical fiction, stuff like that. So Chris asked the same question, Chris Lowenstein, where'd you get the idea? Matt says, of all the story ideas you likely had before you started this book, what made you choose this one? Tanya says, how do you decide if it's a book or a TV thing? What made you know it'd be a great idea for a novel? So a lot of variations on that. Now here's the thing: I've got files going back on this idea, going all the way back to 2008. So and it probably dates before that. I mean, this has been mulling around for a long time, and it started out as a TV idea. But it was very different. First of all, I think the big problem with it was I had the point of view completely wrong. And it only took me about 10 years to figure that out. And the period was wrong too, because it was contemporary. It was set in the here and now. So a few things had to change to sort of make the idea fall into place. And for me, it really started gaining momentum in its current form. When we were visiting friends in Chiddingstone, in Sussex. I don't know if you've ever been to Chiddingstone. It's on the border of Sussex and Kent. And it is your archetypal English village. It's absolutely gorgeous. Weirdly, I work with the chap who lives there called Mark Desvaux, who is kind of Lord of the Manor at Chiddingstone Castle. He's related to Noel Stretfield, who wrote Ballet Shoes, and they have the family have their own coat of arms and everything. And Claire was down there bell ringing, and while she was off ringing, me and the kids sat outside a pub, and the kids challenged me to come up with an idea for Doctor Who. And
Brilliant.
And I don't know if you've ever heard a whole session of bell ringing, but they do something at the end. They ring down the bells, because the bells have to be put in a position where they're put up and then they're rung down, and something happens to the bells. The bells, instead of going ding dong ding dong ding dong, they start ringing very, very closely together, really closely together, and it creates this incredible sound, an absolutely incredible sound. It's like the lost chord from the beginning of the universe. It just creates this incredible magical hum. And I got something from that. I thought, actually, that could be something magical. That's a good MacGuffin. I could use that. And of course, we've been using bells to fight off evil since time began. So I knew bells were suddenly going to be very important. And also, Claire hosts, like, the bell ringers will go on journeys. They'll go from Surrey to Kent for the day and back or whatever. And they use us as a base for a couple of years. So sort of twice a day they come back, and I'd have to make 40 cups of tea and then, double out 40 lots of sandwiches or whatever. And I joked to them, this was just after End of Magic came out. I joked I was going to make bell ringers the heroes in my next book. So the whole bell ringing MacGuffin was coming together, and it does play a really important part in the Crowfolk. And then the time period thing clicked into place, because it was still a TV idea. My TV agent, my script agent, said, why don't you set it, instead of making it contemporary, why don't you set it in the Second World War? Because that period England, Downton Abbey, is an easier sell to Americans and overseas people than a contemporary England. And that just another sort of thing slotted into place. I thought, okay, great, World War II. And I've moved to Kent. Moving here made a big difference, because moving to the country made a big difference. And the World War II, it happened here with the Battle of Britain right above our heads. So moving here made all the difference. So
I've got to say,
kind of slotted into place. And then
I was going to say, it's kind of like extreme. It's an extreme case, isn't it, of book research, is to actually like leave the suburbs of London and buy a house and live there. But you immersed yourself in. It must have changed a lot, because immersing yourself in kind of that village kind of environment must have given you an amazing kind of sense of backdrop for the book, right? Completely. And Wayne, one of the nice notes I've got from someone who read the book said that they said you write nature really well, and it's just being here, you become a lot more aware of the nature and the surroundings. And then the big thing that clicked into place is I got the POV right. In the original version, it had been the monster's POV. With this, I created a character called Faye Bright. She's this young girl. She's your classic, hero, ingenue kind of, character. And it all kind of started to click into place. And going back to I think it was Matt who said, why choose this one? It was just the idea that just would not go away, and I couldn't figure out why. I'd write other things, and whenever I finished those things, I came back, and this idea just kept coming back. A magical wood, a village, and the other thing is I knew this had series potential, that endless well of story. And for years, I've been trying to think of a series idea, something I could come back to. Well, could it be a science fiction idea, fantasy idea, what have you? And it all clicked into place, and I had a character that was able to grow with the series. She's 17 in this book, but she'll grow as it goes on. And it just took a really, really long time to see what was right in front of me. But yeah, that's a very, very long answer, but it had a very, very long gestation. It's been around for 13 years, and 10 of those it was kind of swimming about, and it was completely wrong. So if anyone out there is thinking, I've got this idea and it just won't gel, just be patient. Just if it keeps coming back, if it keeps nagging you, there's something in there. There's gold in them thar hills, and you just have to have the tenacity to hang in there, because eventually it will reveal itself. I think it's a brilliant testament really to that idea, and we often call it signposting, where you get to an opportunity in life where you can start something new, or you can try something, and you look at the signposts and the different things that you could do at that point in your life. And if there's a signpost that's always there, it's always like, this is I'm not going away, I'm not leaving you. If you see that enough times, you really have to follow up. And it sounds like intuitively you went right now, but it's also about timing as well. Yes. I mean, you couldn't have written this book 5-10 years ago, right?
Well, I did write the book. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we got questions about development later on. I finished many drafts of the wrong book, that eventually kind of and scripts, TV pilot scripts, feature length scripts that I got to the end of and they still didn't work. So, it's I did write it, but it was just wrong.
It was wrong era, and not the right time for you to write the right book as well.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. There's more to come. I'm going to be talking about future episodes, things like development, the writing process, writing historical language, historical dialogue, and comparing my experiences in crowdfunding and indie publishing and traditional publishing, all that good stuff. So subscribe and don't miss an episode. See you again soon, and a happy writing.